mention today's agenda here. First thing is that I'm gonna help you with some AI tools. So we're gonna talk about that, how we can improve our resume. The second thing I'm gonna teach here today is how to find, apply, and interview at WordPress, the company, and how we can use chatgpt. The third thing we're going to do today is give you a little overview of how to find long-term projects, full-time or part-time contract jobs using chatgpt. The next item that we're going to discuss about is what is your worth or value, like where you rate yourself and where your employers rate you. The next part is your story, how to tell your story and why your story is important in the resume, in your portfolio, in your profile, or whatever is in front of the employer. The last one, I'm going to touch on personality type. Are you a remote job material? Or what is your situation? Can you work remotely in that situation, or you should reconsider working remotely? Because hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on the second webinar of the series, which is cracking the code of remote jobs market. I welcome you all again. This time it's going to be a very exciting webinar because I'm going to share a lot of tips and tricks to crack the code of remote jobs market today. We're going to talk about different how we can apply and land interviews on different jobs, and these jobs are going to be from all the fields that are there, not just some technical IT jobs. So stay tuned and let's go. Let me share my screen real quick for the presentation. So, like I always say, freedom is working from anywhere in the world, wherever you are, on vacation, in your home, in your office, in Palm Desert, or on the beach. That's what freedom means to me. And like I always assure that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So believe on your dreams and make them happen. A little bit about me for the people who are joining recently. I'm a business growth consultant, and I do consulting, and I develop and grow businesses through digital learning, digital transformation, placement of remote talent, and through learning and development programs. My education is that I have an MBA from UC Davis, that's University of California in Davis, and I am certified Agile project manager, and I have a master's degree in human resource development. So just an overview of what we're doing in this webinar series. There are going to be 5 webinars in this free webinar series. This is the second one where we will discuss what is our value and how we can get the jobs using our value, and how we can value ourselves so that the employers value us too. That's what we're going to talk about today. And the next webinar would be on February 18th, right after a week. And then the following 2 webinars will be in March. We're going to have a 1-month break. And during that 1-month break, I will give you a few practice assessments and assignments so that you can work on your own resumes, job applications, how to work through application tracking systems, and stuff like that. If you guys are interested, and if you guys do those assessments for a few times, I am 100% sure that you guys will be able to land a remote job of, of, of your liking. So that's the plan. And please subscribe my email newsletter at dealershop.podia.com for these presentation slides and any other information and resources, or any other news and updates on remote jobs market. So just to review again, there are two types of remote work. One is a remote job, like I'm sure it's the word is self-explanatory, that the remote job means that you're working for an employer and you're working from home or wherever you are, but you're working for a company or an employer. That's what a remote job is. Other thing is entrepreneurship, like you are doing your own business, or you are a freelancer, you work for yourself, and you can work digitally, you can work from anywhere in the world. That's another form of remote work. And a lot of people are on remote jobs, and a lot of people are on entrepreneurship side of the remote work. So, some data on remote work, like how remote work came in and how it became norm. Like almost 12 years ago, we were not expecting these things. Yeah, we knew that at some point people will be able to work digitally, but things were not clear. And 12 years later, we are now 159% more. We have 159% more growth in the remote work, and it's growing since then. It grows every single day. The percentage is increasing. How companies are switching to digital and how they are working on remote jobs. So for the sake of this webinar series, like I mentioned, we have two types of remote work. One is remote jobs, and the other is remote entrepreneurship or remote freelancing or remote businesses. For the sake of this webinar series, we are gonna focus only on remote jobs, not remote freelancing or businesses. That's another topic that we will discuss maybe after we're done with this webinar series. I will just mention today's agenda here, what we're going to do today. First thing is that I'm going to help you with some AI tools so that you have an impressive resume, because that's the very first impression you make on employers or wherever you apply. So we're going to talk about that, how we can improve our resume and have artificial intelligence do all the work for us. The second thing I'm gonna teach here today is how to find, apply, and interview at WordPress, the company, and how we can use chatgpt to help us land at least an interview, if not the job. And that's very important because I'm sure many of us like we've been there, where when we used to apply for a lot of jobs and we want to hear back from any employer. So it's not the case now. We have artificial intelligence, we have ChatGPT, and we have a lot of the tools that can help us at least land an interview, and after that it's on us if we were able to grab that opportunity and land the job. The third thing we're going to do today is that I'm going to give you a little overview of how to find long-term projects or long-term or jobs, or full-time or part-time contract jobs, sometimes full-time contract jobs, and how we can do that, and how we can send proposals and cover letters using ChatGPT. That's the third item on our agenda today. The next item that we're going to discuss about is what is your worth or value, like where you rate yourself and where your employers rate you. For example, if you have the skills and abilities of charging $100 an hour to the employers. Is it realistic for you to do that, or where do you stand money-wise, and where do you stand earning-wise in your career? So that's what we're going to discuss. It's very important too, because without knowing our worth, we cannot simply do a good job for the employers and will not be satisfied, and our employers will also not be satisfied. So let's take a look at that, and then the next part is your story, how to tell your story and why your story is important to in the resume, in your portfolio, in your profile, or whatever is in front of the employer. How you can use keywords, how you can use different things, the storytelling techniques to portray yourself in front of the employer, and then stand out in the competition. That's the goal. Now, the last one, I'm going to touch on personality type. Are you a remote job material, or what is your situation? Can you work remotely in that situation, or you should reconsider working remotely? Because remote work comes with freedom. It comes with a lot of good things, but there are trade-offs too. Like there are situations where remote work can get a little frustrating sometimes. So like I mentioned, the first thing is resume. I'm gonna talk about resume, how to have a good resume. So the first thing is that we should have an impressive resume. That's very important. Tools like Canva, they have a lot of different templates that you can use for free, totally free, and build your own resume, like just by putting in the information and replacing the information that's in there in the template with your own information. You can see some preview here. These are very, very nice looking resumes, and that's what matters for the first impression. If a company asks you to provide resume, then it means that they're gonna look at it, or they at least gonna put it into an application tracking system, and they're gonna filter you out for the next step, like that's probably interview or skill stats or whatever it is. So just have a nice resume, give them all they want to look at, so that they couldn't ignore you. That's the point of resume. Now, always look when you apply for the job, and when you look at the job description, the main goal of the job description, and sharing that job description with the candidates, the main goal of the employer is to guide and to inform the candidates about the requirements of the job, and what kind of tasks and what kind of responsibilities, what kind of duties the candidates will be handling. So that's the goal of the job description from the employer. So now our task and our goal is to get through the application tracking system and get to the next step of the hiring process. That's probably interview, or again some skills test, or whatever it is. So in order to achieve that goal, nowadays we should never use the same resume for the job. I mean, you have one resume that's a main resume for you, but you will always have to tweak it a little bit, change a little bit of the information in the resume before you apply for any other job, because that's very important. Again, in order to crack the application tracking system, or whatever system other platforms are using, we need to blend in some keywords that were mentioned in the job description, and we have to change or customize our resume according to the job description, so that the application tracking system picks you up and you stand out in the competition. And that's very important. Again, in order to filter yourself through the application tracking system, having keywords in the CV, your resume, related to the job description is very important. So That's the important part that I just want to emphasize on. And then whenever you apply for jobs, uh, most of the time, not all the time, they would ask you for your portfolio, they would ask you for a LinkedIn profile um, or your profile at Upwork, for example, if you're applying at Upwork. So just make sure that before starting applying to any jobs, your profile is very optimized and it's up to date and it has the information that similarly, like just like your resume or CV, like the profile is looking great. It has all the information that an employer can need. And again, in order to have a great profile, the best tip is to look at the other experts in the same field. For example, if you're a graphic designer, just find a great profile of a great graphic designer and just try and see what they're doing. Don't copy exactly, because you are not that person. You are not there yet where they are. If that makes sense. So just try and see what are the things that you can use. What are his ideas or techniques to optimize the profile, and use the same techniques and ideas, or even sometimes more words to optimize your profile and just make it look great. So that's very important, because most of the time employers, they even if you have a great resume, great looking resume, they're gonna look at your profile and see and will try to judge that where you stand, what kind of caliber you have, and what are the qualities of your skills basically, and how you compare with other candidates in the company. So that's another thing that's worth. I'm going to share some AI tools for creating an amazing resume. I already told you that you can use Canva and a free Canva account to create resume in PDF, or even Microsoft Word or Google Docs. They also have some nice templates you can use them too. That's not that is something that we can do. It's a personal choice, whichever platform you like to work in. But these AI tools, these artificial intelligence tools, are there to improve your resume in terms of the keywords, in terms of the words, in terms of how to make a resume professional looking, and how the content and structure of a resume would work. They will also tell you like how your resume, how much chances your resume has to go further and filter in the process, in how much it's your skills, your abilities, your knowledge, your education is matching the job requirements. So these are the AI tools. Make sure you try them. JobScan is the one that matches skills with the requirements of the job. That's very important. But all other tools are great. I mean, whichever you like. Resume.ai, you can start with resume.ai, and it's a free tool in the start for some point, and then they start charging. But I guess the free tool is enough for you to tweak your resume and improve your resume. You don't need to pay. So having said that, just start working on your resume, like whatever resume you have, try and improve it. And another tip that I want to throw out is that whenever you're talking about your current job and you're mentioning the tasks that you perform at your current job, don't be general. Don't use general language that I'm a graphic designer I'm working here for the last 10 years and I do logo design, I do banners design, I do this design and that design. That's very general language. Employers, they already know that if you are a graphic designer, you would definitely have skills to design logo or banners or whatever you design. But what they're interested in knowing is how many projects you have done and how much time. So for example, the reason I'm saying is that they need numbers. They need numbers to see what types of projects or different, what is the variety of your work. So for example, you can mention like I designed 300 plus logos for small businesses or specific industry, for example. So this is a kind of a statement that they will engage in, and they will understand that this is something that you have done great and you stand out from other candidates. Most of the candidates, they don't understand that. Similarly, if you're a digital marketer, like just present numbers that how much revenue you generated with your ad campaigns for your clients, how much you spent on ad campaigns, and how much you optimized the expenditure on the ad campaigns and save client money. So throw in some numbers there. That's what I'm trying to say. That will be very important nowadays. Now, I just want to say that I requested you all in January to send me your resumes, and I will offer feedback on that. I did offer feedback on most of them, but I was not able to offer feedback to all of them because I received a lot of resumes and I ran out of time. So that's why I wanted to have it a section in the webinar so that you guys, all of you, understand how important the resumes are and how to make them better and how to use them to get to the next step of the hiring process. Let's talk about WordPress a little bit here. Today, like I mentioned, we will discuss that how there are jobs at WordPress the company, or not just for web developers or WordPress experts, but they also have some marketing, sales, and customer service roles. So if any of you are a marketing, sales, or customer service professional, please pay attention, and I will teach how can you try and get into the WordPress. I have a poll here, so this poll will allow me to have an idea of the current audience, so that I will target that audience more when I'm teaching about the job in WordPress. So here is the poll. Please answer, and then we'll move on. So everyone, I'm waiting for you guys' votes. All right, so yeah, we have a very good demographics of a lot of people. Quite a few graphic designers, some marketing and sales people, and virtual assistants, customer support, WordPress. All right, yeah, that's the perfect mix. I'm gonna share. Now I'm gonna move on, and let's try and do the WordPress. So I'm gonna stop sharing this screen, and I'm gonna share my other screen where I have the WordPress job site open, so that we know, so that I can guide you all that how we can go on with our search. All right, everyone. So this is automatic.com. As you can see, the address is right there. So when we're on this screen, we're gonna go to work with us. So that's where they provide all the information of how you can have a job at WordPress. And these are all remote jobs, as they say, and you can work from anywhere, like I say all the time. So that's one of my favorite, because they say work from anywhere. Please read these details, because they will help you understand what WordPress is and what type of people they are looking for and what kind of jobs. So they hire technical and non-technical talent in countries over 100 countries in the world. I'm sure most of you will fall in that category. And here are some job application tips. I'm not going to these details because there are a lot of details and you can definitely read them yourself. But other than these details, I'm going to show you how you can have more information on these jobs using ChatGPT. So just read this out, how we work, what do they do. This is always helpful especially when you are in the interview. They will try and understand how much better you know WordPress and their culture better than other candidates. So that's another way you can stand out, by reading all this information and grasping this information. Now, as you can see, they have 6 departments, different departments in which they're hiring. Engineering, design, these are technical. Sales and business development is not very technical. Yeah, it touches the technical aspects, but it's not very technical. Similarly, marketing, it's not very technical. They do touch some technical aspects in these jobs, but not all of them are technical. Similarly, these are all like, so as we can see, engineering, design are technical, more technical. Customer experience and technical support have jobs that they prefer and hire web developers or WordPress experts. But other than that, you can find a job that is a non-technical job. So I'm gonna try and skim through like both categories, for example, the technical and the non-technical. So let's see. First of all, let's go for customer experience and technical support, for example. This would be a great category to start with, because even if you are a WordPress expert, this would be a great way to enter this job market. Now, they call it happiness engineering, like the customer experience and technical support. So now here, you have to fill this whole form. It's a short form, I mean, probably not even 2 pages. So just provide your details, and in the location you're going to mention, like for example, you are in Lahore, Pakistan, that you're going to select, or even if you're in Nairobi, Kenya, you can select that, or whichever, wherever you are, just offer the location, and then provide the region of the world, like if you live in America, Europe, or Africa, or Asia and Pacific. Now, that's where you're going to attach your resume. We already talked about resume and how important it is. So just have a great resume and attach it here. Now, this question, can you tell us what interests you out of options below? This is very important. That's where you're going to select what type of role, what type of job you will try and have. And don't go with your own wishes here. Like, I wish to become a support engineer. That's not going to work, because obviously they're not going to hire on your wishes. They're going to hire on your skills. So select a job or a role which you think that you're skilled to do. So that's very important. And these are all technical roles, but like support engineer, WordPress is for WordPress experts. It's not for somebody like me who is a content or marketing or a graphic design. So that's important. Technical account manager, similarly. Trust and safety wrangler is a person who probably have a little bit of technical side, but they will most probably work on the operations. But let's see what it is. So for example, now how we can use ChatGPT, how we can leverage. We don't know any of these roles. What is their job description? Because they haven't provided the job description of any of these here. So that's where we leverage AI, and we get help from ChatGPT to make us understand what are these roles. So for example, I'm going to go with the first one right there, trust and safety wrangler. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, just refresh it so that it's refreshed. And I'm going to see, I'm going to write exactly trust and safety wrangler. Please provide the job description of the trust and safety wrangler role at WordPress. So we need to tell ChatGPT that we're looking for the job description of this role at WordPress. Let's see what it is. So now the ChatGPT is telling us about trust and safety wrangler role, like how WordPress, this is basically the job description you have. So now you understand what is trust and safety wrangler at WordPress means. Without this, we won't know what type of person they need or what skills they need for this role. So that's where you leverage ChatGPT or AI tools to have more information. If not, we will always go to Google and try and research that. That's what we used to do before ChatGPT, and that's another way to do it. But this is a little bit better and time saving, and it's going to provide all the details. For example, it likely involves ensuring that platform and its users are protected from various forms of harm or misuse. I mean, this is straightforward, but these duties are not. So we can read through it, and for the sake of time, I'm gonna move further and try another one here. So let's go back. Same thing. I mean, you can do the same thing with all these and see where you fit, what is your best fit. Similarly, in the marketing or design or sales and business development, for example, just fill out the form, attach your resume and everything, and select. See, here we have some non-technical sales and development roles. I would love sales development representative because that would be a nice way to enter this company, and it won't take a lot of efforts, because otherwise all the above roles are managerial roles, and it would be hard for us to get a managerial job right away. Let's try and see what sales development representative. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to change the role here, and I'm going to write sales development representative. And let's see if it gives us a job description. So yeah, it is offering us the complete job description. Otherwise, we can guess what a sales development representative do at WordPress, but we won't know for sure. And remember, again, this job description, you need to find keywords in this job description, and you will have to mention it further in the application. That is very important. These keywords, the whole point of this search and knowing the job description of what type of role the sales development representative is to offer, is to have information that we use to put in the other, like the next questions in the application. And you can do another thing, that you can search for this, then tweak your resume, like customize your resume according to this job description a little bit, and then upload it and start the application from the beginning. So that's another tip that will get you closer to your goal, that's landing an interview and then the job. So this is a way you can try all different roles, all different job description, and see which is the best match for you. And then some general questions. How did you hear about Automatic? Now this is important. Can you tell us more about the option you selected above? Now you selected sales development representative. Now they're trying to understand what's your mindset and what mindset you will bring to this job. So that's what they're saying. We'd love to know if you were referred by any Automatic employee, a recruiter, LinkedIn. I mean, you can just hear that we um, we we came to know from LinkedIn, and people were talking about automatic, and I got very interested in automatic. Like, I mean, these sort of things, and you can always um, have a story, simple little. You don't need to provide any details because you just need to reply for these two questions, like where did you hear about it? You can just tell them we heard about it in the LinkedIn and we got interested because it's WordPress, and I was really fascinated from how WordPress evolved throughout the years and became the best platform for the web developers and web designers. That's that, and here comes your background and experience. Now again, in order to answer this question, the background and experience question, this is a very important very important part. All this information in the job description here that ChatGPT is providing, use this information, use these keywords, and answer this question. Now you're gonna, again, this is the part where you throw in some numbers, like I was mentioning in the resume. You're not gonna tell them, oh, I've been doing sales and business development from last 10 years, and I did this and I did that. No, they don't want to hear that. You will have to tell them what numbers you achieved, what are your achievements. So basically, it's achievements that you're going to mention, and achievements in terms of numbers. That's the goal. That is something that you're going to mention here. For example, if you were a sales development representative, how much sales you generated, and in certain years or in months, were you a best salesperson? What they're gonna go for. If you how many cold calls you make a day, and how many conversions did you have from those cold calls. So these are the numbers that you're going to mention here in your background and experiences. That will help you stand out. But remember, you're going to use these numbers around the job description and using the keywords here. So again, outreaching, for example, outreaching to potential customers through various channels. Here, you can mention outreaching potential customers through cold calling or email, and through like these many emails, these many phone calls, and then I converted this is my conversion percentage out of the cold calling and emailing. So that's something that you can definitely do and grab the attention of employers. This is another very important question. They're asking what is important to you in your next career opportunity. So just mention that what is important. You can always copy and ask this question to ChatGPT. Just write how to answer this job application question. That's it. Don't need to think about everything nowadays because we have intelligence that's probably artificial, but it will help us long way. Let's see what it says. I haven't tried that, but it will definitely give us an idea what to answer. So again, it's telling you that growth and development is important in sales. For example, if you're applying for sales development representative role, and culture and values, all these information. But remember, always try and input the information that you know and that you can justify. For example, you don't know the culture and values of WordPress, so just be cautious a little bit about mentioning that you're looking for a good culture in the organization. And even you're applying for a remote job, so culture doesn't matter much, but yeah, it gives you an idea how to answer this question. That's the important. Now I'm gonna stop this screen share, and we're gonna go back to our presentation. All right, so next part of our presentation will be about Upwork, how you can try and find full-time or part-time or contract jobs at Upwork. There are, like I mentioned here, there are contract to hire roles for pretty much every job and every field, basically. So we can try and do that. So let's go and work it on Upwork. So here's the Upwork profile. Here's the job search where we can search the job. So what I did here was I searched for virtual assistants, and I'm in US, so this button basically goes on, and basically it tells us like if we want to hire candidates from US or not. So I will turn it off because I will try and show you guys like how they have jobs from other countries as well, and for the people from other countries as well. So I have applied some filters here. So that is very important when you're looking and we are targeting when you're targeting a job that you need, that is perfect for you basically. So I have applied filters such as entry level, for example, and you can see it provides a number next to that filter, that how many entry level jobs they have. Then I also have hourly here. You can always take it off if you want, but if you want an hourly job that pays you hourly, then that's the way to go. And some other ones are here. Some other filters that I like, is very important for me. The payment verified filter is very important because I need to have a trust that the clients I'm working for, they're there to offer us jobs. They're not window shopping, or they're not just checking the market or what kind of people they can hire. So that's very important for me. I check this filter and see if the payment of the clients are verified. For example, this person spent $1,000. This client spent $30,000 on Upwork. So that tells me that this is the client who hires at Upwork. So he's an active client. So again, that filter, payment verified, is important. Then I also most of the time apply a filter 10+ hires, again to see if the client is active or not. Sometimes if there is no hires, those are new people on Upwork. There can be scams in those job postings and whatnot. So I don't try no hires jobs because I think it wastes more of my rather than I would use that time to spend on legit clients. And again, at the very end, you would see contract to hire roles. That means that these jobs are contract jobs, and they can turn into a long-term job, or like a full-time job after the contract ends, if they like you. So as for example, I would just go to show you how to do it. I will just go for this job that's payment verified. The client spent $30,000. It has 50 proposals. That's a downside, but don't worry about it. If you know how to stand out, you can definitely beat these 50 proposals easily. Now the client is only interviewing 3. So here in the job details, they will tell you what type of person they're looking for, what type of skills and expertise they have, and you will know that this job, if you can do this job or not, first of all. So try and apply for it. And again, for cover letters, for proposal, you can write, you can get help from chatgpt, and the chatgpt can write you a nice cover letter. Just for example, they have a law office, so we can just simply write, please write me a cover letter for an administrative assistant job job at a law and see what ChatGPT does. So it's going to write you a cover letter for an administrative assistant or virtual assistant job at a law firm. Your hiring manager, and you are done. You can just copy and paste it. And then similarly, you can have different sections of your proposal, and you can get ChatGPT to write that. I'm going to stop share here. You can do, just to let you know, you can do the same thing with graphics designer job. Here, like I'm searching graphics designer, and same filter applied, and you see we have 574 jobs. So a horror movie poster, t-shirt designer, video editor, inscription on the background, artwork, printable clothes, someone with good knowledge of Midjourney, logo creation, photo editor, and all. And remember, these jobs, again, client spend 900 plus, 20K plus, 20 proposals, 1K plus. I mean, these are the jobs that have high chances that the clients will hire. So if you want like a contract job or a full-time maybe down the road, you can apply this filter contract to hire, and you can see that it still has 123 jobs. So these are the long-term jobs that you can apply. If just look through them and see if a job is good for you. Again, leverage ChatGPT to answer the question. Still writing the cover letter. So just use ChatGPT to answer these questions, to answer the requirement of the employers, and stand out. You have to be creative. You have to think how the employers think, and you have to think how your competition, the competitors, all the candidates that are applying for their job are thinking. And you have to think ahead of them and stand out in a way that they see that you are a special person. So I'm gonna share the presentation screen again, and we're gonna move further on the presentation. So that's what we discussed right now. Now, I'm gonna tell you a story that I told in the last webinar as well. And this story is very important because a lot of us, we don't understand how to ask for jobs if we have to ask people. So the story is that imagine you are chilling, you're having fun with your friends at somewhere at a beach maybe, and a stranger approaches you, and without even introducing himself or herself, they don't say any hello, they don't say hi, they don't say salam, namaste, and how are you feeling, how's your day going? They just come close to you and ask you to hire him or her as your assistant. How would you feel about that? So that's a poll that I'm going to share. Tell me, how would you feel about that situation? That if a stranger, and you are just having fun with your friends, and a stranger approaches you without saying hello, hi, without saying anything, just demands you to hire him or her as your assistant. So the poll is open, guys, please vote. How would you feel? Yeah, you don't know that person. You don't know if he's skilled, if he's good, if he or she is ready to be your assistant. You don't even know what you do. So yeah, a lot of people are thinking that that's an awkward situation. Yes, it is an awkward, and you will feel uncomfortable because hiring a person that you don't know and hiring that person who don't know you doesn't make any sense. It's not going to go further. So yeah, I'm going to end the poll here and share the results with you people. So like most of you said that it's awkward or uncomfortable. Yes, it is awkward and uncomfortable. So that's a lesson for a lot of us too, that even when we ask, for example, a lot of people ask me without any hi, hello, how are you, how's your day going? Well, probably chilling with my friends, or I'm probably in a bad situation, and I get a message, hey, please hire me as your graphic designer. I'm available. And that makes me feel, I mean, you understand how it makes me feel. So just say hello, hi, be courteous, be nice, have communication with the person, try and build a connection first, try and be a little more closer to them, like on a professional level, and then offer something. For example, if you are at LinkedIn, just try and engage with their content and comment insightfully, comment like your ideas on their post, and then they will know what type of person you are, how much skilled you are, and then you can, after a while, when the connection is built, when you're engaging in their post, then you request them to consider you for a particular job if you're applying. So that's how it should be, and that's how a lot of people should do it, and they don't. Just something to throw out there so that you understand. So again, that was the poll that we just did, and a lot of people said awkward and uncomfortable. Now, as I promised, I'm gonna offer 5 positions, 5 internships, paid internships and jobs, and these are the details of that. So here I'm just gonna say that we're gonna need 2 graphic designers, a copywriter, LinkedIn manager, and a YouTube channel manager. And these are part-time job positions and paid internships. We just the way how we do it, the requirements is that there are no requirements. So I don't need any resume from you. I don't need any application. I don't need your portfolio, especially because that's how a lot of companies are doing nowadays, because especially when it comes to portfolio, because yeah, they take resume, they get the application, but they don't trust the portfolios, because portfolios can be made by anyone. So in my case, I'm not gonna have any resume, application, or portfolio. Just direct message me. And again, no straight ask, just like we discussed. I'm just gonna delete the message of the person who will ask straightly, like, for the job, like the stranger story that we just discussed. So just build a connection, engage with me. I will check out your LinkedIn profiles, and I will filter the people out, and I will interview 5 to 10 people for each job. So almost I'll have to interview like almost 25 to 50 people for this package. So you can definitely direct message me, and you can show your interest. You can engage with me on my content, and I will understand that what is your caliber, what is your skill, what skills you bring to the table. Now, one important point: salary will be offered per your worth. So we will determine the salary later on. It depends on how skilled you are and how experienced you are. Every other job does. Moving on, like we discussed our worth here. What is your worth? So let me explain you what worth is in the eyes of employers. So the worth basically means how much you get paid. That's basically the worth in simple words. If you are a Fiverr person and you want $5 for every gig order, or you work at $10 a month, yes, there are countries and there are people who work on $10 a month, I would say. And if you're a $100 per hour person, so you have to be realistic to know your worth. And how you can be realistic and know your worth, that you can use these factors to know your worth. For example, competition. What other professionals are charging in your field? If a logo can be designed in $100, do you want to charge $100 for a logo, or maybe like $80, or you are skilled, you're an expert of your field, and you would like to charge $1,000 for a logo? So that's the competition. The current salary, how much skills and experience you have, what geographical location you are located at. Are you in Africa? Are you in Asia? Are you in Australia? Are you in Asia Pacific? Wherever you are, you will that location will also determine a little bit of your worth or your rate, because a person living in Canada may have expenses in dollars, so they will charge more dollars to cover their own expenses. But a person living in Asia, for example, or in India, they won't spend in dollars, so they will spend in rupees, Indian rupees. So they can charge a little bit less dollars because their expenditures are less. So that's the geographical location. And then, very important, you need to know what's going on around you and in your field. You need to be updated. For example, I still know that a lot of people don't even know chatgpt. So these are the things that you need to know about. For example, even the content writers, most of them nowadays, if they're on LinkedIn, if they look around, they know, but if they are introvert, they don't look around, they don't know even what chatgpt is. And then it comes to your negotiation and communication skill. That's where you show your worth, like with your good communication, that this communication is another skill that I use to charge more, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So know your worth, and then dive in. We're going to talk a little bit about personality type. Remote work is not for the people who get distracted easily. For example, if you're at home and you have kids or you have family at home, focusing on your work would be very hard for you. So you need to know and you need to understand that what the remote work also has some limitations. Similarly, self-discipline. If you're not self-disciplined, if you're just delaying things, if you think that you will do it at the last moment, these kind of things will hurt you when you'll do remote work, because that's not going to happen. Personality type. What is your personality type? There is a test. It says Myers-Briggs personality test. The website, you can write this statement on Google, Myers-Briggs personality test, and truity.com will be the first one to pop up at Google. Just give that test honestly. And then once you're done with your test, once you have your results, it will tell you what is your type of personality. There are 16 different types of personalities, and it will give you yours, one of those 16. So type your personality type and ask ChatGPT that if this specific personality type is suitable for remote jobs or not, and you will have the answer. So, are you guys ready for freedom, or you're ready for remote work or not? You still need time and think about it. Well, if you are ready, then start working on your story. And remember, we all love great stories, and storytelling is an art, so learn it, especially writers, content writers, virtual assistants, even graphic designers are storytellers, because they tell the story, they tell the visual story, So just work on your story, learn how to tell your story visually and with words, and then learn it and tell your story to the people. Your resume is one way. Your profile, your portfolio, your LinkedIn page, cover letters, and proposal. All these things are there to tell your story to the employers, to the people, to the followers, to whoever is the audience. So try and tell your story beautifully. That's the goal. And these are some techniques to learn the art of compelling story. For example, first of all, you will have to read a lot of stories, and then when you read stories, you will have an idea what is the structure of a good story. And then write. Just practice writing. Write different stories, short and long. You can see a lot of people, content creators on LinkedIn, how they make a point in just like 10 lines. They make a great point. That's a story, basically. There could be some characters there. You can be a hero of your story. There could be a villain. There could be You can go through some bad situation that a hero fixes or heroine fixes, and that's basically that's the whole story. Be vulnerable, bring emotions to it, and tell them where you were weak and then how you overcame your weaknesses. That's all about the story. You can use dialogues again, written dialogues are great, they make impact, and you can use visuals. Visuals are also uh, there to grab attention and keep the audience engaged. Be the hero or heroine of your own story. Remember that, and you can do that. Um, Last, we are almost ending our presentation here. I'm sorry, I took 10 minutes more, but I guess we started 10 minutes late, so that explains it all. Lastly, whichever portal you use, for example, we used Automatic and Upwork today. Try and familiarize yourself with the portal. That's very important. See what types of filters they have. That's the first thing that you need to know. What types of filters they have, what types of jobs these portals offer, because not all jobs are offered at each portal. For example, here 99 Designs is a portal that's specific to graphic designers. So the graphic designers will have more chances. But again, don't be familiarized with that portal, but don't use just one portal. At least have 2 or 3 portals that you're signed up to in order to make more money, because one portal, if your gig or if your offering gets D-ranked on one, I have Fiverr and 99 Designs in mind, for example, for graphic designers. If a few designs are not ranked, or a Fiverr D ranks your gig, then you will have other options to make more money. So optimize the profiles and the gigs and portfolios in different portals, and then go with at least two or three portals. And these portals are very good. These are also telling you that what type of portals they are, and how these portals are useful to you. For example, Flex Jobs is an all-rounder portal. They post jobs from all fields, from all industries, not just web development or graphic design or digital marketing. They have jobs for every field. Automatic mainly focuses on web development and WordPress, but they also have jobs for marketing, sales, like we discussed. We Work Remotely is a great platform. They're digital marketing focused, but they also have jobs from all of their different fields. Upwork, entry-level remote jobs plus all-rounder. You can also get, Upwork is good for entry-level people, because a lot of employers at Upwork, they search for entry-level skilled people. 99 Design is for graphic designers. Similarly, Preply is another. If you know a skill, if you know a language, you can teach and tutor that on Preply. If you are, for example, if you know WordPress, you can teach WordPress on Preply. If you know any French, for example, any language, you can teach that language on Preply. One last thing that I want to say, that LinkedIn is not a good portal to find. It's not a good portal to find a remote job in US or Canada. But yeah, LinkedIn, there are different remote jobs from other countries. For example, Turkey, for example, in countries in Europe, they offer remote jobs on LinkedIn. But yeah, all these other platforms, Flex Jobs, for example, is one of the best that offers a lot of remote jobs. You just have to filter remote jobs that offer remote jobs from people from all over the world. And lastly, remember, you can do it. It's your belief that you can do it if you wanted to. I would like to say again, subscribe to my email newsletter at dealertalk.podia.com, and engage on LinkedIn, so that you will have a lot more content, information, and resources to find and land a remote jobs. It's time for question. I'm going to turn on the chat and stop the screen share, and I will have your questions now. Let me turn on the chat room. Oh, here comes one. Adding image at the resume, again, it's a preference, it's a personal choice. Like you mentioned, that a lot of consultants and people think that image must be added and others do not. I would say it's a personal preference. It doesn't matter much. I personally don't like adding my image on the resume because um, I have my reasons. I would not show my picture uh, in the first impression. I would just try and build the perception in the employer's mind based on my skills and abilities and what they have on the paper, not looking at my face. Yes, you will get the recording of this whole session, Sid. I think it will take maybe a day, but yeah, I will share the link. If you are subscribed to my email newsletter at adilarshad.podia.com, I will provide all these details. I will provide the presentation slides, I will provide the recording link, and the rest of the information about this webinar. I really thank you all for your thanks, and you guys are all welcome. Remember, I'm just a DM away. Please engage with me on LinkedIn and send me direct messages. I always respond. If I'm in good condition, good health, I will always respond. And don't hesitate to just, again, I don't like the straight asks, like asking for something, demanding people in the very first message, but build the connection, engage on my content. I know that who you are, and I'm familiar with you. Then I still help people who are like, who approach me and ask me something right away. I still help them, but it's something that I'm sharing is that nobody likes that, unless you know that person, you won't try, you won't do much for them, but I would still help them, but it's not good manners. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not okay to add your ID number of dependents on resume. On resumes nowadays, it's not okay to even add reference. That's what I'm going to tell you. Don't add references, especially for remote jobs. The employer, for example, if the employer is in US and you are providing your references from local, from whichever country you are, I mean, there is no point. The employer don't need those references. They won't be able to check those references. So the reference is your work, basically. And in remote jobs, in most of the remote jobs, the employers will have a skill test, and sometimes, so they can test your skills. For example, in WordPress, the WordPress jobs that we talked about, if you go through the application and application process and it's filtered out to the next step would be a skills test. They're gonna have maybe 30 minutes or 60-minute skill test where they will just have a video interview, a virtual interview with you, and they will ask you questions from CSS, for example. They will check that if you know CSS, if you know WordPress, they will have practical, they will have you do practical problem solving in WordPress. So like, even references are not good on the resume for remote job. So you need to make sure that whether you put on the resume. So Prathamesh asked, I can review your resume. That's fine, but again, I will definitely review it. I will give suggestions, but the better way to do it is to use AI and the tools I just shared in the start of my presentation, that you can use AI to review your resume. That's a good one. No problem, Maurice. You can ask as many questions as you want. I have no problem. Well, there are a lot of countries where Western Union don't work, or where Wise don't work, where PayPal doesn't work. These portals, I'm sure if they work in those 100 countries, for example, the automatic, if you can select Lebanon in automatic, they would have a way to pay you in Lebanon. So that's my thinking on that. I know that, for example, PayPal doesn't work in Pakistan. Western Union doesn't work in a few African countries. So yeah, they will have other payment methods to pay you. In if you are from such, if you are in that country, the best approach would be to use the freelancing platforms. For example, Upwork, Fiverr, Guru, Freelancer.com. These freelancing platforms will have a way to pay you in your own country, even if the Western Union, PayPal, Wise, these payment methods doesn't work. Amar has a good question. My friend, you will have to have 2 resumes, and I would suggest that just if you are an all-rounder, if you do digital marketing and graphic design both, I would suggest you to blend both into one niche. I'm sure you know what niche is. If you don't know what niche is, my last webinar had a huge section on how to develop your own niche. So if you have 2 or 3 different fields, you can merge them. My niche is digital learning, and I am a remote work coach. So we're like, professionally, I am a learning and development consultant, and I also do digital marketing. So my niche became together in a way that I use learning and development programs to market businesses. So that's my niche. Again, I am a learning and development consultant. That's my profession. I love digital marketing. That's my passion. One is profession, and the other is passion. Now I combined them to become one niche. So I market businesses using learning and development. That's my niche. Yes, you can blend fashion designer and fashion brand digital marketer. It is very easy. Let me just finish up with Amar's question. So graphic designer and digital marketing, for example, the niche could be you can mention that your niche is that you improve the online presence of businesses through graphic design. And online presence is pretty much the same as digital marketing. It's a little different, but it's pretty much the same. So your niche can be simply, that's very simple. You improve the online presence of businesses through graphics design. Coming back, yeah. So Amar's your question about fashion designer and fashion brand digital marketing. Yes, again, you can combine those two to make it your niche. You can be a fashion designer and a fashion brand marketer. So you can write, you design you design stuff that that brand itself, or that markets itself, you know. So these are 2 things that you're combining: marketing and fashion design. So you covered that you designed articles, or the fashion articles that convert, or that become a success, that markets themselves. There's another question about WordPress. Please explain a little bit more in that chance to get a job in Canada by visiting. I know for a fact that Canada has changed its rule about work. Canada is offering work to visitors. I'm not sure to visitors, but Canada is offering work to students, that's for sure. Now, recently in November, Canadian government, they were facing labor shortage, so they changed the rules from 20 hours a week work to full-time 40 hours a week work for students. So that's something that you can do. And if you're looking to work in WordPress, I mean, you don't need to be in Canada. Like I mentioned, they hire from 100 plus countries in the world. So you can just work remotely, even if you're in Canada or in United. Let me see if I haven't missed any other questions. Yes, Maurice also has another question. The profile summary that describes the person in 2 to 3 lines. What about it? What is your exact question about the profile summary, Maurice? Please give me some details. The 2-3 line profile summary is also something that, I mean, it's a way to tell your story. It basically, I mean, it's just like the LinkedIn headline, and you should be descriptive in those 3 lines, not just like a keywording like the LinkedIn headline, but yeah, it's similar to that, and you can elaborate your niche in those 2-3 lines. I'm not saying field, I'm not saying your profession, I'm not saying you're a graphic designer, just mentioned graphic designer there. You will have to target your niche. Niche is very important, people. Like if you want to stay away from competition, if you want to stand out, especially in freelancing field, especially in business, you'll have to have a niche. Even on jobs, your chances to get hired would be high if you're targeting the jobs that are directly related to your niche and you have a niche. For example, a real estate company needs a graphics designer. If your niche is a graphic designer for real estate companies, then you'll have better chances to be hired by most of the real estate companies for their graphic designing. So that's how it is. So just answering Wasim's questions first. The front-end WordPress, I mean, there are web development agencies in Canada, and they will have a lot of opportunities. But again, I'm not sure the visitor visa, there are visa categories. There are different visa categories. As a visitor, I'm not sure if you will be able to work in Canada or not, but I'm like 80% sure that visitor visa, they don't allow work on visiting visas. You will not be able to work, and that's pretty much standard for the whole world. I have a visit visa of Saudi Arabia, and I have a 10 years visa, but they don't allow me to work. I can live there for 6 months, but I'm not allowed to. The question again, following up on Maurice's question. Yes, some profiles include a small summary. I guess I think every resume should have that small summary, and that tells the story. That is very important. That tells the story of the person, and it tells a lot about that person. The caliber, the communication, the way of telling the story tells a lot about that. How that person, how much skill that person is. If a person is fit for the job or not. So just try and formulate that story. And again, resume.ai and all those AI tools will definitely help you with that too. So Liba's question is, how do I write niche about brand designer as well as social media designer? So, I mean, just keep things simple. It's not confusing. A brand designer can be a social media designer. You can just write a brand designer who, I mean, a great social media manager, something like that. If we talk about brand designing, yes, it's all about logos, it's all about typography, colors, and all that. But the same thing is used in social media. So you just have to make a connection. How the social media is connected with the branding of a company. So Again, you can use online presence word like you are a brand designer um, who uh, who engages audience on social with online presence. I mean, social media is again a very general word, but use online presence. Use fancy words. Fancy words engage, they attract. If you say social media, every person says I'm a social media designer, I am a social media manager. So if you talk about online presence or digital, for example, digital dominance, I'm a brand designer who works for your digital dominance. That digital dominance include social media, it includes Google ads, it includes Facebook ads, it includes a lot of things, whatever things you can be. So use these kinds of words, and that's your niche. Khadija had a question earlier. I think I missed that. I would appreciate you to repeat the process of reaching out to you on LinkedIn. What you prefer to see from a person? Okay, Khadija, I don't have any preferences. I don't select what things I need in a person. But I was just explaining that you can direct message me all the time. I will be ready to help. I'm always there to help. The only thing that I was mentioning is it's not good courtesy, it's not good manners like a lot of people do. They don't even say hi, hello, how are you? And they just approach you and ask you for a job. And that's something not, I mean, even if I don't like, I will help, but still it's not good manners. These are some great questions. And I think I was able to answer most of them. If there is any question that's remaining in your mind, or I missed that question, please copy and paste it again so that I answer. And we are almost done with the webinar. So I will give you guys 1 minute if you have any questions. And again, I'm always available on direct message. Just engage with me on LinkedIn, build a connection. I love to know people. I love to know what they're capable of, and I help them. I try and help them to bring the best out of them. Like I try and help improve their skills. But I mean, asking for jobs right away is not the way. No, like even if my brother would come to me and ask me that I need that job that you're offering, I'm not gonna give him that job because he doesn't have to. There is a process, you have to try and follow that process. You have to try and follow common courtesy, some kind of manners, and that's called professionalism. So you have to have some kind of professionalism before you ask for something, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. But yeah, just direct message me, engage with my content, and so that I remember you. I know that who is the person I'm talking to. I mean, build a connection. Be a human first before a web designer or a graphic designer. You need to be a human. I shared a post like a couple of months back in which I posted a job, and I got almost 49 applications and replies or LinkedIn messages for that job. And out of those 49 messages, 41 messages didn't even say, how are you doing? Hello, hi. What they did, they had a copy, or they had something pre-written in there, and they just copy pasted it in my direct message. They were like, most of them were like, hi, you posted this job, I'm interested in this job, this is my CV, this is my portfolio, and no connection, no human touch in that message. I mean, if you're a human and if you're typing a message, it's common courtesy, it's humanity to ask, hi, how are you doing, hope you're having a good day, and then explain what you're trying to say. So we need to have these manners, especially in the professional world, wherever you are, whichever country you are. These are something that are really important, or otherwise you will just shoot away the employer or the audience. So yeah, be human first. Take the approach of humanity and be empathetic. Just feel the way you would feel if you would send the same thing to someone. That's the way to understand actually the professionalism, how professionalism works, and it's very big on in the professional world. If I know if I would send someone a message asking for a job without saying hi, hello, or building a connection, that will look odd and awkward, and no one will care about. That's not what I want. I want to stand out. I would be empathetic. I would be caring. I would be showing some respect. I would engage with the content. I would try and familiarize the other person with myself and my personality. And then I would ask. So that's about it from my side, guys. I would again please subscribe at adirashad.podia.com, and I will send you guys the details of the recording and the presentation slides and any other information related to this webinar and the next one. Thank you for joining. Have a good day, good night, or good evening, wherever you guys are. Have a good time. Thank you. Take care and bye.